You've been praying for months, maybe years, about the same thing. You've pleaded, bargained, and waited, but heaven seems silent, and you're beginning to wonder if God heard you at all. What if I told you that God's silence isn't His absence, it's His activity? What if the very thing you're praying for is being prepared right now, behind the scenes, in ways more beautiful than you could have imagined? There's a sacred space between prayer and provision that most believers misunderstand. We call it delay, but God calls it preparation. We see it as denial, but God sees it as design. In that quiet space where your prayers seem to echo unanswered, God is orchestrating circumstances, preparing hearts, and aligning timing in ways that will leave you breathless with His goodness. Consider Hannah, who prayed desperately for a child year after year. Scripture tells us in 1 Samuel 1 verse 20, in the course of time, Hannah became pregnant and gave birth to a son. Notice it says, in the course of time, not immediately. Not when Hannah expected, but when God had prepared everything perfectly. That son became Samuel, one of Israel's greatest prophets. God wasn't just giving Hannah a baby, He was preparing a nation changer. The silence you're experiencing isn't God ignoring your prayer. It's God perfecting His answer. Like a master craftsman who works carefully and deliberately, God is shaping every detail of what He's preparing for you. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11 reminds us that He has made everything beautiful in its time. Think about Jesus' friend Lazarus. When word came that Lazarus was sick, Jesus deliberately stayed where He was for 2 more days. His disciples must have been confused. Mary and Martha must have felt abandoned. But Jesus knew something they didn't. He wasn't just planning to heal Lazarus. He was preparing to reveal His glory as the resurrection and the life. Sometimes God delays so He can deliver something greater than what we originally asked for. Abraham waited 25 years for the promise of Isaac. During those silent years, God wasn't changing His mind. He was preparing Abraham's heart, Sarah's womb, and a nation's destiny. The delay wasn't punishment. It was preparation for a miracle that would bless all nations. Joseph's dream seemed forgotten in prison, but God was preparing him for a palace. David was anointed as king, but spent years in caves, yet God was preparing him for a throne. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness, but God was preparing him to lead a nation to freedom. Your prayers are not lost in heaven's silence. They're being answered in heaven's workshop. God is preparing the people who need to be in place, developing the character you'll need to handle His blessing, and orchestrating circumstances you can't even see yet. Isaiah 64 verse 4 declares, "No eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind has conceived what God has prepared for those who love Him." Your prayers haven't been forgotten. They're being fulfilled in ways more wonderful than you dreamed. God is preparing what you prayed for, but He's also preparing you for what you prayed for. Trust the silence. It's not empty. It's expectant. It's not abandonment. It's anticipation. If this message encouraged your heart today, share it with someone who needs to trust God's timing. Subscribe for more biblical encouragement, and remember, God's silence is not His absence. It's His preparation for something beautiful.